Yes.
So I was wondering about. I mean, seeing all this stuff on the kayaks. How do you deal with theft, loss, and insurance? Um, things flying off when you're traveling
Yeah.
on the highway.
So as somebody who does probably 35, 45, not probably, the last few years I was averaging about 40,000 miles a year on the road. When this is in the back of my truck, there's generally nothing on it, right? Everything is inside of the cab of my truck. I'm not an insurance professional, but I do have an additional rider that covers me for theft and damage. You'll want to, if that's something that, very legitimately concerns you, if it's something that maybe you are worried about, and as we all should be, right? It's just not always going to be at the forefront of our minds. My recommendation would be contact whoever you get your homeowners or auto insurance through, and present the scenarios, right? Because they're all salespeople, right? And of course, it's easy to say, hey, this coverage does this coverage does that. Go through the scenarios, right? Is there somewhere that you fish that's over 100 miles away from your home?
Oh yeah, and they might be in that event box too.
Yeah, you check that.
Yeah, I'll check that.
You're getting an Airbnb, you're getting a hotel, whatever the case. Present that scenario and see where your coverage is like. Again, not a licensed insurance professional.
Oh, there they are.
But that would be the best way for you.
There's the drop it in, and there's the ticket.
Perfect. Thank you.
Confident that you have the types and amounts of coverage which would replace with like items. While I said that, there was another thought that I had in terms of stuff falling off. Oh, redundancy. So when I travel, I use way more than is necessary based on weight. So I know that I've got, I overestimate what my kayak weighs, especially saying it's in the back of my truck, it's unloaded, but I just assume a 500-pound static weight. It's not that, but I assume that it is. So I make sure that I've got 20% more in every point of contact for my truck, because the last thing I ever want to experience is that thing sliding out of the back.
Yeah, you keep that one.
And so I run multiple straps from the front and the back of my kayak at multiple tie points, so that even in a worst case scenario, like a vehicle rollover, honestly, you would probably still find my kayak in the bed of my truck. Don't ever want to experience that, but that would be something. Security-wise, also, I don't know the name of it. I have seen it before. I think it's a newer product. I know a buddy of mine, Jake, was promoting it. I know that in fact, real-world scenarios, he uses it. There's a lock. It's like a big cable lock. It has a lock box. And if you try to pull, if you were to cut that cable, or you try to pull that cable out, the lock box has a very obnoxiously loud alarm.
Mariner Sales actually sells some.
Do we have those here?
Yeah, we actually have, because we bought some.
Yeah.
Because we travel with ours and our RV, and we bought some, and we've also used
Keep it
them
weight.
at, set up at vendor shows. And you touch that, and it makes off a noise, you're gonna wake the whole world up.
Oh, it's obnoxiously
So
loud.
it's very loud, so, and they're not real expensive, but if that's a concern, that's always a good thing to have.
Yeah. So there are a lot of very effective, like well thought out options. I'm not a big afterthought guy. Like I hate having to add something on my kayak as an afterthought. When you're done with a project or done with a certain piece of it and having to like kind of hodgepodge to finish it. That's why I don't have the interior lights on my kayak yet, because I love fishing at night during the summer. So mark my words, it will happen. I do a lot of night fishing in summer. But red lights on the interior of the kayak, that'll go in there. I'm not 100% confident on how and where I want them. Yes.
I wanted to add on somebody, when I get to take it, somebody asked about keeping safe. So Larry Hill was just here. Larry Hill actually just got his kayak stolen. One thing they were talking about it is get insurance. like that. The insurance paid at least $5,000. Doesn't cover everything, but it's $5,000. So get insurance. I've heard. I don't know. I haven't applied to an insurance. None of this is wood. But I heard State Farm is the best for boat and recreational
I'll just
boats.
jump in. Stephen Barber, who's State Farm, he actually is a sponsor for the local North Texas League, and that is one thing he does is covers your kayaks, whether it be just your kayak. It'll also cover all your equipment that's on it. You do have a maximum dollar amount, but then you also can do a separate, like we trailer ours, and we have a different one for the kayaks versus we also have a trailer cover.
Yeah. And I think it's only like $20 or
It's
something like
very
that. Very inexpensive.
And
A month.
yeah, a month. And so they're very inexpensive.
Please share that with us afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually,
Duke can
and,
always give it to you.
and again,
You don't even, you can just, if you
Let me.
have
I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm gonna add one more thing about that.
You roll your boat
That was that.
and your batteries are history, they'll cover it.
Right.
Your equipment, anything, your rods, reels, you lose a rod, they'll cover it.
One other thing that I do, I take actually two bike cables. They're like heavy duty. Granted, somebody wants to steal something, you can steal it. They won't, they're bad enough. They're gonna find a way. But at least you kind of like buy yourself maybe time to stop it. Or one thing about stealing is like what happened to Larry. He had it parked for I don't know, say prolonged time, but days on end, where they had a chance to view it. Like when you think about somebody stealing your kayak from your home, somebody already prepared for it. When you go to an Airbnb for a tournament, just camp out, that's usually an opportunistic one. I run a battery, not a battery cable, I run a bike cable. And this is very important because if you have a Hobie PA, a lot of guys just run it through like here. It's like, I'll run it through here. But the problem is you can unscrew that and still steal the kayak. So what I do is I run the cable. This one doesn't have a hole, but
right up in the front.
yeah, so you can run it through like a hole or scupper hole, or through the I run it through the hole for the motor, and I tie it into the trailer, and also the seat, because the seat can be stolen. So I do both. I tie both, and I tie them to the trailer. When you're going for an Airbnb for like a weekend, if anybody steals your stuff, it's an opportunistic. They didn't plan it. They just happened to drive by. Oh, that looks like it's easy to steal.
They saw it was easy.
Yeah, and they saw it was easy. So if you have that, they're not gonna steal it. They're gonna look for another one. But when you leave it at, prolonged time at some place where people get to see it every day, every night, that's where they're gonna plan for it. And whatever you have, they'll find a way because they already planned for it. But again, if you're going, people, you might think, they can still steal it. Usually, parking lot that's only like an Airbnb or stuff like that, usually it's opportunistic. So if you put it hard enough where they just can't grab it and go, chances are nobody's going to steal it. But think about that.
Is we all tournament fish. We may all go meet at the local whatever, motel, restaurant, and the first thing everybody does when we pull up, we start pulling off that big stuff that I don't want to lose that. I'm sorry, I don't trust anybody. So my stuff gets all piled into the back of our truck. If we travel, we do travel to the coast to fish. We actually have covers that go on our boat because what they can't see, they don't know is there.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing to do.
And I bought a security lock, or I forgot the name of it, for the back of my truck. It's pretty easy to break in and open it. But if they don't see it, they're not going to think it's worth breaking it open. It's when they see it, it's like, oh, there's stuff in here.
Out of sight.
Out of sight, out of mind. So you might think it's like anybody can open that with a hammer and a wrench or a screwdriver. Yeah, but if they don't know if it's worth it, they're not going to try it.
Yeah, but
so
a hammer
everything
plus a
can be
window.
secured. What?
A hammer plus a window would be pretty easy too. So the ones that are going to do it, they're going to do it anyways. Yeah. But I don't know the statistic. I don't want to throw a number out. I do know that it's very high. I've got a lot of friends in law enforcement that that I talk to all the time. Like, it is a very, very high percentage of crime which is attributed to opportunity, right? You make it easy. Yeah, don't make it easy. Yeah, like I said, 40,000 miles all over the country, a kayak in the back of the truck. You know, there's nothing in it when it's on there. You know, the micro anchor, the motor on the back, the yak attack box, all those things. And I won't dive into my own personal journey, but those things living in the cab of my truck like has definitely driven and helped me to simplify like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, because you've only got so much room. And I start, you know, what's important, right? And one of the things that's important to me is to not just feel like I've got stuff just loaded into my truck, right? I just want to have my motor in the back, my black pack, a bag of baits. Literally wondering if I still have the bag of baits in the front of my kayak right now. But in, you know, in that line of questioning, right? So I hope insurance questions, you know, there's a ton of resources for that. Obviously our State Farm support that I think North Texas Kayak Championship, right? As well as the Bass Nation. So our state level championship. There is an agent who literally supports kayak fishing, and thus has the knowledge to be able to offer, you know, whatever additional riders, the additional amounts, you know, and then it's up to you to balance, you know, affordability with levels of coverage and all that different stuff. Generally, though, it is relative to what you're insuring, like it's pretty affordable, honestly. So, but yeah, in terms of, you know, how do you not just bring everything in your garage? Man, find those fish. Find those fish, you know, mentally lock in on like how you want to catch those fish. And the first couple of times it'll be difficult. I mean, I can share my own personal journey at another time, but like it's hard at first to just take 3 different techniques and 2 different options for each of those techniques. Like I am not the guy who's the biggest proponent of like, oh, just take 1 rod and a swim jig. Like those days are tough because I will see a lot of other things that I think, you know, I could have caught him that way, this way, or the other way. But it balances out because eventually you're going to have enough days where, like I did the other week, you know, in a marina with those rods, and I'm like, man, I caught the out of them. So you get enough of those days and it becomes easier and easier. You just have to force yourself to not bring all that stuff. And if you can't do that, at the end of the day, think about all that stuff you brought and how many ways you actually caught them, right? If you caught 3 fish and they all came off a chatterbait, but you brought all that stuff with you, maybe all you needed was a chatterbait. Like, so however you go about thinking about that, again, we can do that another time, but